Welcome everyone to the Vermin Sermon. I was absent last week, but I'm probably busier this week than I was last, but I don't want to have to be gone for 2 weeks, so here we go. Couple things happened. Um, the NVIDIA 30 series of graphics cards got revealed, and with some pricing information, some benchmarks should be coming out sometime soon. So there you go. But I want to know what you guys think of it first, and then I'll give my take on it, I guess.
I'll go first just because I don't know really fuck all about computers, which is funny
Yeah.
because one of my friends, like, who we always come to do all the computer shit for us when we like need it, like, build or whatever. And it's funny because he's like, I'm surprised you're so bad with computers, yet I've seen you repair our cars when you come to the flat and we like give you food or drinks to do it. I'm like, yeah, but then it hit me like, oh, I just haven't bothered to look into or study computers. That's why.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I just get the bare minimum, like, yo, what's this? What's that do? What do I have to watch out for? And that's about it. You could definitely talk better about this than I could.
Yeah, but at least like it caught, even though you're not like I guess the target demographic, it still caught your attention, I guess, because everyone's been talking about it.
Oh, hell yeah.
So if anyone, I guess, just for people who don't know in general, the new generation of graphics cards are basically a huge middle finger to people who got the last generation. The 20 series of graphics cards, I completely skipped out on it. I have a 10 series Pascal GTX 1080, and the 20 series was basically bleeding edge technology. They were trying to do as much new stuff as they could with ray tracing.
Test dummies.
Yeah. And
actually, guinea pigs. Yeah, that's a bit unlucky.
Yeah, pretty
He's
much.
got the prototypes.
And because of that, right, you're getting ridiculous prices and not that much performance out of it, right? And you have to understand, I think the value equation was still good, but it's what part of that value is valuable to you. That's the difference, right? For me, I don't really care that much about ray tracing. I would rather have a higher frame rate. So in that case with the 20 series, yes, you had value because you're paying for brand new technology, stuff that hasn't, I guess, been done to that level, to that extent before. So because of that, there was a reason for the pricing, but it wasn't valuable to me, and because of that, I skipped out on it. Now the 30 series, a couple things. The 3070 is $500 and performs about as well as an RTX 2080 Ti, which is a $1,200 graphics card. $1,200.
Just to say one thing about that,
Yeah,
allegedly around the similar performance, because they haven't actually got stats yet, so I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like,
you see, I would be very wary about that because, I don't really know for sure if it's really as good. You see, here's the thing, right? I see it as a marketing thing of, okay, we found one game where the frame rate was very similar. So even if every other game, the 2080 Ti outperforms the 3070, we're not gonna put that into our graph. But you know what? The fact that at least one game, or at least whatever the case may be, that caused them to, I guess, make that statement, that is still impressive. Because let's even suggest that it's slightly worse. Still $500 versus $1,200.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say some more other cool things.
Sorry, that value differential's fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna say yesterday or the day before thing. So information came out that the 3060 will come out next month and it's gonna have 2080 for performance or so.
Yeah, I've heard about
like that. So they're gonna be doing some crazy things, and some of the crazy things I heard, but I'm not sure if it's true because obviously, like, this is all conspiracy, just leaks and them. Apparently, they're gonna try to artificially inflate prices by not making that much stock, which would rise.
I was gonna get into that.
Which would raise the price of the non-founders edition graphics card due to profits or some next thing. But I don't know if that's true. But it is interesting. And also, all the AIBs, the ones that have they've announced, all the
Mhm.
prices are a lot higher than RRP. So I don't think many
Oh,
people are
man.
even going to get that
Yeah.
that cheap low price, like 440,
It was
649 or whatever it was, or I
yeah.
mean the
It reminds
449
me
for the
of
3070 and all that.
reminds me of when the GTX 1070 came out and it was going to be $380 or something like that. Like 300 and some, right? Close to
Yeah,
400, but it was going to be like 370 or something. And then as it turns out, because of shortages and everything else, you'd be lucky if you found one for 500
I
at
paid
some point in
400
time.
for my new, but I think I just got
Mhm.
kind of lucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those ones, but it does look cool.
It's a bit annoying, but yes, there are reports that there are probably going to be shortages. So expect it either to come next time around, or just what's it called? Um, just pay up. Here's the thing. It's interesting to me that you see if they could use previous technology to make a faster graphics card but more expensive, right? You are like when it comes to performance, really like, oh man, this graphics card is great. What you really mean is it's great performance as opposed to its price. Um, because
Yep.
the RTX Titan, I don't know how that fares against I think the 3080 is going to be definitely more powerful than the RTX Titan. But even if it wasn't, the fact that the
In the
RTX Titan was $2,400 is
the
the difference there.
3090 is replacing that, by the way. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, the
Anyway,
90 series, because I think they used to have it like that. So you'd have like the 590,
the,
the 690, and then they went to Titan, and now they're going back. I think, um,
mm, I could be
something
wrong,
like
but
that.
yeah.
So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and look that up really quickly because I'm pretty sure there was a GTX 690, and that was kind of the quote unquote, um, you know, the basically the Titan before the Titan was the thing. Uh, Either way, these graphics cards are interesting, but one person was mentioning is if they are the price that they are, the 3070 is actually almost not
Definitely worth
that
it.
good. What Because of the fact
Oh,
that the 3080 is apparently so much better for only $200 more. That's one of the
oh yeah.
opinions
I
I've heard.
was gonna say, there's also some other leaks. Shout out,
Mm.
The Chinese guys, like some came out of China like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Basically, it's got some leaked early benchmarks. And according to them, the 3080 is a 30% performance increase over 2080 Ti,
Yeah.
or and a 50% increase compared to 2080 Super, which is probably a bit fast. Like, let's say
Yeah.
it could be a bit faster than a 1080 Ti, which is still pretty sick.
Yeah.
So and they show different like the different benchmarks with performance gains, and it's quite impressive. So what you're saying is possibly kind of true. Paying the extra 200 to get a lot more performance, it's probably worth it, and a lot of
Yeah.
people will probably go for that when it comes out. But it's probably
Mhm.
going to be overpriced if what the things are true about artificial
Oh, yeah, yeah.
scarcity and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um, one thing that's interesting, and this kind of goes to with optimization in general. I remember when the 1080 came out, it was basically the 4K card. And now looking at things, it's not going to play games in 4K very well. Definitely not, as someone who actually has a 1080. And people would call the 1070 1440p card. And
That's not a 1440p card.
yeah,
Not high
it's
refresh
not.
rates anyway.
No. And we're at the point where someone's like, "Oh man, finally we don't have to spend that much for a 4K card." But people are still saying, I think the 3070 might just want to stick to 144, or sorry, no, 1440p. Um,
Yeah, I
Being
think that's a
that
decent
it's and
resolution
then the
for most
3080
people.
is an actual 4K card. Because again, people in the 20 series, they're like, "Oh man, the 2080 and the 2080 Ti are great 4K cards." I mean,
Mm.
if they can, I'm fairly certain they can do 4K 60 on a number of games, but not everything. And some games are just, notoriously terribly optimized, and it's really unfortunate, but it is the way it is. Um, but I think the 3070 can be a very capable 4K card, and hear me out. The last generation of game consoles, PS4 and Xbox One were basically targeting 1080p. That's what the developers are focusing on. They optimize it for that and they scale it up and down for PC. That's my guess. I don't actually know. I'm not a game developer. 4K was kind of like it was an attempt by the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, but they did a lot of checkerboard rendering and a lot of other stuff. So really, that I think that could be an explanation as to why with the scaling and stuff. I don't know, but my guess is basically due to the fact that mainstream game consoles didn't focus on 4K, it wasn't as optimized as it could be. Maybe question mark. And because the PS5 and Series X are primarily focusing on 4K, I assume that by some means they're going to optimize things more. So a 3070 could be a proper 4K card. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing something out there. But yeah, 3070 and 3080 are pretty exciting for their price. And even the 3090, considering that it's supposed to be a Titan replacement. Because instead of like, being $2,400, it's what is it? It's like 1,500, I think. It's a lot of money, but you consider value and everything. It's worth it to the like 0.1%, because for me,
Yeah.
I only have a 1080p monitor, so it's not gonna be. But honestly, I don't think I'm gonna be buying any of these graphics cards. I think I'm gonna wait a good amount of time and then upgrade, and also upgrade my monitor, and we'll
Yeah.
see by that point. But really exciting stuff for those who are into it. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, AMD has, I don't know, I guess teased, maybe revealed is not the right word, their RDNA 2 graphics cards. So, and I think they're going to reveal them in October. So, but it's after the RTX cards. And a lot of people are saying, well, wouldn't that be a bad business strategy? Because you'd want to show them before so that they don't, go out and buy a whole bunch of RTX cards. Yeah, I don't really know what AMD is doing right now. I hope that they're good, because best case scenario, they are good, and that means Nvidia can, ease up on the price a little bit. Because here's the
I
thing,
think all
right?
in all, we just need a lot of competition to just have better tech
Yes,
for everyone
yes,
and make
yes,
everything
we do.
cheaper.
Yes, absolutely. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, people are saying that, man, the new graphics cards are gonna destroy Series X and PlayStation 5, but you have to understand it's completely different things. I don't even consider like because the age old question of do I go with the PC or do I go with the console? Uh, Here's the thing, right? If the Series X, I mean, I guess we are getting into it, but we'll get more into it later on. It was revealed that the Series X's price is $500 US. That's the cost of a 3070. That's just one part. Granted, the 3070 is going to be more powerful than whatever GPU the Series X is using. I think. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be disappointed in myself, but that's what I think is going on. Um, the one of the reasons why I think consoles cost cheaper is because when you're the manufacturer of every part, you don't have to worry about making profit on each individual part. You just have to worry about making profit on the whole. And sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes they sell at a loss and then make up for it in game controller sales and sales of everything else. So the Series X and PS5 are probably going to be sold at a loss, so that Microsoft and Sony can um attract people to their consoles with the pricing, and they'll take a hit, but then they'll make it back through a number of things. And like Xbox Game Pass. And I don't even know how much profit they're making off of that, or even if they are. That's complicated. I don't do business stuff, so I don't know. Don't ask me. Um, but not only that, but um, it's just like if you just want to play games, I would almost dare even suggest getting one of the consoles. I almost. would suggest doing that.
Ooh.
However, like, I don't do just that on my computer. There's a lot of other things. I guess rendering and uploading these is one of them. And considering it is a podcast and I don't have to do a bunch of edits, I guess I don't need like a super powerful editing rig. But you can't render something with the console. It really depends. But in this generation, just because I think Sony and Microsoft are planning to lose a fair bit of money initially, things might be a bit better on the console side. But here's the thing. Eventually, things start to even out, tech gets better, and then on the PC side, it's like you will eventually, probably 2 to 3 years down the line, be able to get something that's as cheap, uh, and everything is, PC. Again, you see, when I buy a graphics card, the graphics card manufacturer is expecting to make a profit. It's the same with those that make the CPU and those that make the motherboard and the PSU and the RAM and the case and everything else, right? Here's each individual company is trying to make profit there. And then when you combine the cost of a pre-build, by the way, if you're going to build a PC, or no, if you're thinking of getting a PC, don't get a pre-build. It's been said over and over again, so I know I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but just don't get it. Just don't get it. Build your own PC. It's definitely not that hard, and if I can do it, you can do it. Simple as that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
In terms of the PS5 and Series X, I think there are probably at least a few people on the PC side switching to console just because of the pricing. I'm not so sure. But, then again, you do save a lot of money over time because of Humble Bundle, because of, Epic Games giving out free games on their store because you don't have to pay to play online. So I don't really know. I think a PC is more of an investment. And here's another thing. When I built my PC, one of my friends was like, dude, just stick to console. It's way simpler. It's way better. And it's not like you're going to do anything on it other than play games. And I was like, you know what? Although it's true that I'm not going to do anything except play games on it, I still think I'm going to build a PC. I just want the experience and also high frame rates and everything. I came into it thinking I'm not going to do anything other than play games. But here I am. And rendering and editing these is not the only thing I would do on my PC if I'm going to stream something. It's kind of annoying to stream on a base PS4 and Xbox One, apparently, because
there's so much more you can do on like a high-powered PC. Because it's a PC.
I mean, like, because I'm pretty sure that
yeah,
I think the frame rate is capped when you're streaming on PS4 and Xbox One. And if it's not a PS4 or Xbox One, it's an older console, then you just have to have one. I didn't think I was gonna do anything else other than play games on it. But you see, you're only put in that mindset if you don't even have the options or the availability to do the other things. Like if you come in
to many things in life.
Yeah, if you're not if you think, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this, then you're never going to try and then never, I guess, realize that, oh, I think I would quite like to get into this. And, it's one of those things. And actually, I'm probably going to need a somewhat powerful, graphics card and other stuff for my job later on in life. If things work out in college, and I think I'll spare the details on whether or not things are working out right now.
We'll just leave it up to the audience's interpretation.
Yeah, you can interpret.
Leave it on a cliffhanger.
If things work out, I'm gonna be using SolidWorks and a lot of other stuff. And I know that a Quadro graphics card and everything is gonna be better, but it's still like to have like a 3090 or like a 3070 even to just render a huge SolidWorks assembly. Man,
I need that. Yeah, and someone who uses.
I was saying on Twitter, like, I really want a 4K monitor, and everyone's, I was like, for games, but GTX 1080, you're not gonna really do that much with it. And I'm like, no, actually, I just want to zoom out on an Excel file and be able to still read all the data.
That's a great fucking point.
Just
like,
being honest.
So we probably had that because since me and Sol both do design, like.
Oh yeah.
Them running like 3ds Max, Unreal Engine 4, and like fucking Illustrator because you have like converting AI files so you can like make them 3D in there.
Oh yeah.
That's a bitch on your computer. That's a whore.
Yeah.
Like
when I'm
all
doing
three
my
of us
dissertation,
are like
my
the
PC
prime
needs,
people who would need powerful PCs primarily outside of gaming.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, trying to render out 3D projects and on my Omen Lappy.
I think the worst for me. I think the worst for me was in InDesign when I had like 200 pages open.
Oh, it gets grim.
And you have to zoom in and zoom out.
Yeah, when you're doing a workbook in InDesign, you have like 50 fucking boards, 300 pages, and it's like my shit is like about to crash.
Yeah, dissertation when you have like 100 Chrome tabs open, Microsoft Word, you have like some other stuff. It's just a massive F. You're gonna need.
I can't actually, when I do work, I can't have anything else open except for what I'm doing because I have Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, maybe Cinema 4D or 3ds Max. Like, I'm gonna have to build a strong desktop. And
I don't even know how much RAM those collectively would use, but I would suggest getting 32.
All of it.
I would highly suggest
like 8 plus.
Oh my gosh,
8 gig plus,
bro. Oh yeah, you really weren't lying when you said you can't open anything else.
Yeah, it's like
dude, that's massive when we in the
Unreal Engine 4
and the PC died.
Oh, say I remember one more time, Soul?
Oh, sorry, you go.
Soul, one more time.
I was saying when we were doing the Forza 20 in his laptop, like.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I got grief. I got fucking grief.
You know. Yeah. And for people wondering what we're talking about, hopefully there should be a video uploaded soon by a good friend Atalia, who came on the Vermin Sermon some weeks ago to explain his tournament thing. I'll say we had it. And it should be up hopefully sometime soon, but I don't know. And I don't want to spoil anything else.
I might hit him up where it's like, if you haven't, if you've like half finished it, I can finish if you want.
Try to figure something out. Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting once it gets out.
When I get griefed. Start the race. 8 frames.
You guys will see what we're talking about there. But yeah, actually, I have a question. So I think you have 32 gigs of RAM in your system, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
This is a ridiculous question. I'm probably gonna build a new computer a bit later, and what I mean a bit later is probably out of college, and then maybe a year after that, because I think that's when by then it would be the 50 series of graphics cards comes out.
Hey, you know how I was at least talking to Sol about this, like how I want to build a desktop?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, I'm about to fucking graduate this year.
No, man.
Yes, I'm about to grad, so I guess, 2021 year of the Stelio build.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
I'll wait to see that.
Hit me up. Sol and I guess we'll hook you up with a PC part list whenever we get time. Anyways, Sol, you see, by 2024, which would be when I get out of college plus one more year, I think 32 gigs is going to be the standard, but I'm honestly thinking about getting 64.
Mate, that's what I was thinking. Honestly, I was even thinking of going back to Intel because with like AMD, I've noticed some stuff that I never had before my old CPU.
Well,
this is the way that
AMD is still better for like workloads and stuff like that, right?
Depends on the CPU. The new ones are really good.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just one of those ones. I'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Because AMD is usually even in like the FX series, which is trash. They're at least like better with multi-core performance. I think I'm not 100% sure. So
see,
my plan is
performance, but like 5 to 10 years behind.
Oh yeah,
just let you know.
I don't think it's like, especially not for multi-core.
It was bad. No, for single core. It was core. Worse than the first gen like
Oh dang.
Intel
Well,
CPUs from like
anyways,
10 years ago.
what
Yeah.
I really don't think it's like that far, but I get the spirit of what you're saying. In any case,
Yeah.
I'm thinking because by the time, right, if I do get a job and I am like using SolidWorks and stuff, 64 gigabytes of RAM, a powerful graphics card, a good CPU for like multi-threaded stuff. Like, dude, video editing
Yeah.
and rendering is gonna be super fast. The AutoCAD
Yeah.
stuff is gonna be super quick, and then it'll also still be competent as a gaming computer. So I honestly might even consider 64. Because, dude, if I had a strong enough CPU,
Yeah.
and graphics card, I could be like just like rendering on one, and then in the background be playing a game at the same time.
To be fair, you can.
Dude.
That's what.
I just thought about that
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
64 gigs because the computers we have at our uni for design, they're 32 gigs, and I remember. I think I had these are all the programs I had open: ZBrush, Cinema 4D, Unreal Engine 4, 3ds Max, like Chrome, and then I had like fucking Payday playing. That was nearly all 32 gig.
Oh man.
It was
Yeah.
really beating its ass in, and I had to quit Payday. Like I stopped trying to play it because when I would actually put it in real time, like actually playing like the level in Unreal Engine 4, nah. So yeah, and especially 64 might be a fucking necessary with what I'm gonna be doing.
You know what?
Jobs.
You know what? With the way technology is going on, I'm sure 120 gig will be cheap in the future anyway, because most motherboards support up to that much anyway.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of even doing that in the far future, like if I need to.
Yeah, of course. So that would, I think that would be awesome, but obviously that's not right now. And right now I've got the I don't even have my desktop computer with me, but
RIP.
the 1650, my laptop, it is doing its job. It is doing its job. Actually, I was gonna mention this, and I might as well briefly. The 3070s and 80s and 90s are cool, but I looked back on it, and when I look at the games I play these days, very rarely it'll be something somewhat modern that'll make use of the graphics card.
Or
Burnout.
the indie.
You can run Burnout on integrated graphics. You can do that. If your integrated graphics are just good enough, you can run it on integrated graphics.
Maybe
it's
maybe
at
if you play
480p.
Burnout at 8K, it will with the next
Dude,
gen.
Burnout 8K.
I used you can, what's it called? Hold on, let me actually I'm gonna look something up from a different.
Oh, you mean
Discord server,
DLSS when or something?
Actually, I completely forgot about.
And now that's
DLSS.
something different actually.
But in any case, with Burnout, because you can modify the config file. I think I ran it in like 6K on my GTX 1080, and again, it was super sampling, so it's not. It honestly doesn't make a massive difference. I just wanted to see if I could. So I think I did try to run Burnout either on 6 or 8K, and I did turn anti-aliasing off because it's not going to make a difference. But yeah, Burnout. There's that, or indie games, like 2D side scroller type indie games that also probably could run on integrated graphics.
Yeah,
So
I was about to say,
I was like, is it really worth it? Or I was just thinking about it. Or
to be fair,
yeah, we just play fucking indie games, don't we?
Dude,
yeah, you don't need much to run those.
Like Need for Speed Carbon, right? Because of its age, it runs on modern integrated graphics. So like, I was testing it out, and it works on my Surface Go 2, the base model, on a tablet. It runs at 60. Granted, minimum settings, but
that's still playable.
It runs at 60 on integrated, and it's not even like that good integrated. It's not like the Iris Pro Plus whatever stuff, or like an APU. I guess APU would. I don't actually. Is that technically? I don't know. Whatever.
No, it's not. But yeah.
Or those, dude. Midnight Club 2 runs on anything basically these days. I mean, it's got to be sad times if you're in like 2001 and you have to upgrade your PC to play Midnight Club 2. Oh man. Complete potato.
Yo, that's the generation before us, boys. To upgrade your PC to fucking run Midnight Club 2.
Oh,
Man, the days.
Scary.
wait, when you have like an 8
you're having
megabyte
to upgrade your
graphics card.
family's PC too. Because it's
Oh,
not yours.
gosh.
You have to stealthily buy parts for it and then upgrade it.
Yeah, well, let me just get this 512 kilobyte RAM stick
Oh yeah,
to get a
install it when the
Meg-
when the parents aren't looking. They'll be like,
Oh,
"Oh,
man.
the computer's been running real well." Yeah, it's crazy. Need to play Midnight Club.
Yeah,
Oh man.
last year I played
Yeah.
Midnight Club 3 and PS2 emulator 4K, man, and like it was so
Oh,
crisp
yeah.
you could see the number plate, and it was like you can actually read what it says in that, like details that
You can
couldn't
actually
see
see
on that
see what's
tiny
going
Yeah,
on
well,
there.
480 screen. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty sick, man.
Midnight Club 3, like on like base like PS2 graphics, is pretty grief. Like
Yeah.
it looks, it's rough to see with your
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
when you actually play high resolution, you can see the details that Rockstar put in that. You
Oh,
don't
hell
really
yeah.
see.
You definitely can.
It's sad
But
to think that a
honestly,
lot of that detail in those old games, you don't see it because
You
of
don't
the
see 'em.
fucking resolution and a bunch
Yeah.
of other things.
but you know, one
it's
thing I will
grief.
say, I think Midnight Club 2, like Midnight Club 3 on PS2, because I got an actual PS2 copy of it. I eventually just like used the disk drive and then like emulated it, but I just wanted to just see what it looked like on PS2. I wanted that experience, and there's so much going on graphically. I feel like because it can't keep up in the excessive motion blur.
Yes.
I actually think 2
Oh,
looks
yeah.
better than 3 functionally. It's really
Oh no,
important.
2
when I say
definitely does look
functionally.
better.
2 looks better functionally because the fact that they tried to have less on the screen means you can focus more. You know what I'm saying? It's easier. It's not
know,
like
no, that's
there's so
literally-
much stuff going on at the same time graphically.
Yeah, Midnight Club
yeah,
3 on like
yeah.
base PS2, like it is
Ugh.
to see because
It's muddy.
I got it when I was young, and it was like,
They were definitely
Oh,
if there was better
when you take a
resolution, it would
corner-
hands down look better than 2. But
like
it
when you
didn't
take
have
a
the better
corner
resolution.
in the later cars, and
Oh,
just the way the screen blurs into fucking 0.08p. It's like, what the
Oh
fuck
my
am I
gosh.
looking at? It
Yeah,
actually disoriented me when I was playing it. when I
dude,
was
that
younger.
probably adds to the difficulty of it.
Oh, it was actually be able to
It's not a
see
bug,
what the
it's a
fuck is
feature.
going on,
Yeah.
and it's like you'll be like, is that a blur or is that like
Wait,
a
isn't
secret,
that-
like,
isn't that
rail
like-
I can hit through?
Isn't that like real life though? When you go really fast, I don't know.
Not that bad. Like I will say,
Oh,
kinda, yeah, but
wow.
it's not really like it's a blur, as in like, oh yeah, everything's blurring by in nice real life resolution, not like
Yeah.
it blurs into fucking 20 frames of dog piss. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
brutal. Like yeah, that's a
Yeah,
skill
that's
in
something
itself
pretty-
to like navigate through
Um,
console Midnight Club 3, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I think we were mentioning like I guess 8K, and I think like I'd probably run Burnout at 8K. Midnight Club 2 uses your graphics driver to determine resolution and scales everything appropriately. So you could buy like a 3070 and an 8K monitor and
Oh, yeah.
play Midnight Club 2 in 8K without needing a graphics mod. And honestly, it's
8K
not going to
Midnight
look
Club
like
2.
that much better because the textures are still going to be garbage because it's just so old. But you can play Midnight Club 2 in 8K just so long as you
Surely
have a monitor.
someone, after all these years, releases a Midnight Club 2 HD
Oh,
texture
man.
pack for the
Oh,
8K
yeah.
players.
8K
That would be-
players. Dude.
Whoever,
Like, 'cause,
if someone ever released that, they're a sick human being. Like,
Yeah.
what compelled you to make HD textures for Midnight Club 2 in 2020,
To be fair-
2021?
To be fair,
Oh
it'd
my
be still
God.
pretty interesting to see that.
That'd be sick.
So I think
Online mode.
the 3090 is designed to be an 8K card, 8K 60. In some games using
Not te-
DLSS.
Technically, it's not 8K. It's DLSS. So it's more
Yeah,
fake
yeah.
4K. Like
But apparently
up-res
some
than-
games, like they tested out, they showed like I guess benchmark performance in the press conference or whatever the release for a few games on the 3090. That's it. But Forza Horizon 4, and it wasn't using DLSS, but that game's well optimized. But I just think that's cool that it can actually run some games without DLSS, so native 8K. But Midnight Club 2, I'm gonna look up the system requirements and just make a guess on how much you'd need to run it at 8K.
Like a
nowadays.
fucking
So
8K. I thought you meant just base specs. I was gonna say a fucking Pentium.
you're right. 800 megahertz. 800 megahertz Pentium 3. So, dang. And for graphics, I want to see
Lightning
more
fast.
graphics. That's the thing.
That was like old Counter Strike like Source 1.6. Like a fucking Pentium was your monster powerhouse on your
yeah.
PC.
You
I
need
remember when that was the thing. That
oh
was
my
sick.
god. You need 128 megs of RAM. And dedicated video RAM, 32 megabytes. So that's the minimum.
Fuck, that's really powerful. Like, who could run that?
Dude, that's 32 megs. The 3090 has like 24 gigs.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
It's
That's
fucked.
insanity.
Gigs.
So honestly,
you don't even need to say a number. Just say it requires gig.
Dude, I'm starting to think that probably honestly, a GTX 1050 could probably run Midnight Club 2 at 8K maxed. I think so. I'm willing to bet just a
4K.
1050.
I think they'll start to struggle at 8K. I don't know why, but I think it.
Yeah,
probably would.
yeah, it might, because computationally there's so many more pixels. But I mean, here's the thing, right? 1050, it's a 4 gig card, right? Or is it not? Maybe it's 2 gig, isn't it?
There's 2 gig and a 4 gig one for the TI. I think that's
okay.
all I remember.
To be safe, 1050 Ti. So everyone who's buying an 8K monitor to play Midnight Club 2, so like all 6 of you out there in the world, buy a 1050 Ti. That's my official recommendation. Anyways, moving on to...
talking about, I was going to say one last thing. Talking about resolution stuff, I think people get too caught up in numbers. Resolution doesn't mean stuff if the game runs really slow and hasn't got any effects.
And not only that, I think people also forget that, the human eye is going to be the bottleneck eventually. When you're like, I really can't tell the difference. What's even the point? Some people argue that 1440p and 4K don't look that much different. And that is already telling of something. Here's the thing, though. Let's say you got this massive, massive display. I mean, it's unbelievably huge, right? And that's at 8K. Of course, it's going to be worth it because the increased size, makes pixel density different. But if you're on like a normal sized thing and you're looking at 4K and 8K, I bet you'll notice a difference, but I don't think you'll notice a difference that'll make you want to justify the purchase. So I think, I think with consoles, it's almost like a buzzword. Like, oh man, it's going to play 8K and it says 120 frames a second. So that must mean 8K at 120 frames a second. Dude, it's not going to play anything at 8K 120 frames a second unless it's like Notepad or the system main menu. Let's just be honest. Even the system, the UI is probably not going to run at 8K 120 or even, I don't even know if it'll be possible. You need a ridiculous amount of graphics power for 8K. You know what I really think it is?
Also, most people's TVs are only 60 or 50
FPS. Dude, people on 1080p 60 hertz TVs are going to be like, oh man, I can't wait to play a game at 4K 120 on my Series X. Sure, buddy, sure. In any case, you see, when they mention 8K support, what I think it is 8K video or 8K Blu-rays if that ever becomes a thing or something like that, I really, really doubt it means 8K games because, I mean, it's got to be ridiculous. Like, you got to be playing Midnight Club 2 or, like, I don't know, like Cave Story, like, 2D pixelated indie title that'll run at 8K. I'll believe you there, but other than that, no, I really struggle to. But speaking of consoles, I think we should mention this. The Series X and S got their prices revealed. The S is $300 US dollars and the X is $500 US dollars. So, that being said, a lot of developers have come out and said what they're worried about with the Series S holding back the generation, and we already talked about this like weeks and weeks ago, months ago, I think, about the mere idea of a lower end system existing because it could basically be the bottleneck for the whole generation. And you see, of course, that issue doesn't exist if you decide, okay, some games are not going to run on the Series S. Then that problem doesn't exist anymore. But they're not going to do that. That'd be very anti-consumer. A lot of game developers have said that it's going to be a nightmare to work with and balance things out without causing the whole generation to basically be held back by it. But some developers are also saying, well, actually, the slightly worse CPU isn't going to make a big difference, and less RAM and the lower graphics card is going to be perfect for scaling games from 4K down to 1440p. Um, honestly, I really hope, or not hope, because it's already happened. I really wished, past tense, that the only thing different with the Series S was the graphics card. I don't see why they felt the need to tamper with the CPU or the RAM. If those other guys are correct in saying that it works just fine for scaling and that there aren't going to be any issues, then great. If that's not the case, then that's horrible. Because you see, with the Series S being so much less powerful, I wouldn't really say that with it just being just less powerful, because the CPU isn't that much worse. With the Series S being less powerful, that does really impact everyone. If you play games on PC, well, now a big budget AAA game that's primarily targeting consoles is going to have to focus on the Series S, and then that means that it might not have a feature that your PC can handle because your PC isn't what a lot of people are going to be playing on, basically.
I was gonna say with that, those little differences in other performance, like in the RAM and the speed, I think they were done just to make it run cooler, because obviously the Series S is tiny compared to it.
Yeah, it's actually really small, really small. Some people had a non-functional unit, and it looks like a little bit bigger than a Switch. Maybe I'm
Also,
over-exaggerating.
it
A
looks
bit
really
bigger.
nice, and it should be able to fit in many types
Yeah.
of places, isn't it?
Oh
So
yeah.
it would look decent in your living room or whatever.
Yeah. And as for my whole stance on that, is it scalable? Is it not? I'm not a game developer, but a lot of them seem to be divided about this. Um, a lot of people are saying, "Hey, this is going to be terrible for development," and a lot of people are saying, "Hey, this is going to be just fine. It's going to scale really well." I have no idea. I just thought it was a really weird decision, and
Yeah,
apparently,
all that. Yeah,
apparently the
Well,
Series S's CPU is still better than the PS5 CPU, which that doesn't really mean a whole lot, but I just think that's really funny. um,
I was gonna say I don't think this matters too much, because first of all, it's not even out yet, and the game's
yeah,
not out, so we can't say. And second, is that same CPU just 100 or 200 megahertz difference?
yeah.
So,
Like honestly,
and I,
that is a Midnight Club 2 CPU difference right there. Like subtract like the
yeah,
power needed to run Midnight Club 2 from the
yeah,
Series X, and then you get the Series S CPU.
yeah.
Um,
Also,
yeah,
coming from someone that actually owns a CPU similar to that, a Ryzen 8 core CPU,
yeah,
it's really solid, and it
yeah.
should be fine, I
It
think.
should be fine. Here's the thing. They say they're aiming for 1440p, and it's the beginning of a generation. As things go on, games are gonna look better and possibly be more demanding. I mean, it's weird to think about. I guess like things are usually optimized for console, but I really don't think a lot of people are gonna take issue if the Series S even scales down to 1080p on some games. Like,
Also, I was gonna say
I
this
don't know.
kind of
I
links to
don't
what I
think it's
was talking
that
about
bad.
before, like with those buzzwords like 8K.
Yeah.
That's why Xbox are making those of kinds of consoles like the Series S, and apparently there's an Xbox Series V or whatever it's gonna be called that's
Oh
leaked, that's
yeah,
in the
there's a
middle of
leak.
those two
There's a leak for
consoles,
a
which just shows that most people don't care
yeah,
and probably want to save money, especially in a time like this where people are out of work, using the
mhm,
spare money and other stuff that haven't got
yeah,
disposable income, like I talked about last week and stuff like that.
yeah, 100%. So it's one of those things. If anyone doesn't know, there was a leak that there's gonna rumored there's a Series V. It's basically a Series X, but all digital, so no disk drive. Um, so if you're in for that, hopefully it comes out then. Whatever, who cares? I think it's all a big thing of like Microsoft and Sony are really going at it. They want to undercut each other as much as possible. Um, here's the thing. What I would have done, kept the CPU the same, kept the RAM the same, really undercut the GPU. I mean, like, really undercut it. Okay. hear me out.
Yeah, but then
Okay.
that would make it unbalanced if you think about it. If you just do that, and
Yes,
possibly some more expensive.
But hear me out. 1080p 30. Okay, listen to me. $200, $199. Okay, call it maybe that would have been because let me be honest here. Okay, I've gotten into so many arguments over console fanboys in my life about frame rate, and I admit none of them were productive uses of my time, and I should have been better, but whatever. This was like years and years ago. A lot of them, some of them say that they can't even tell the difference between 30 and 60. I knew some guy who genuinely couldn't tell the difference between 30 and 60 frames a second. Now,
Human, I can only see.
He doesn't really like.
Yes.
Exactly. No, I mean he didn't. No, to be fair, he basically doesn't play video games. He's super into soccer and other stuff like that. He's athletic and
do you know what you could have done?
Music. So I really don't blame him, not even for a second. He's not a
But do you know how you?
He's just there.
Div,
But yeah, go ahead.
the way that you could have explained that to him is, let's say you have like a soccer stream up, right? Because you can change the quality, have it 30 then 60. It's like, can you tell the difference between how like smooth they move?
Oh yeah, no. I had a game.
Mate.
I locked it to 30 and then I locked it to 60. It was like NFS 2015. I just moved the camera around so you'd see like the fluidity of the motion. And he
See, that's funny because with my dad,
yeah,
he like can't stand 30 anymore.
Oh yeah,
because like I'm playing like with him like Tekken 7, watching like F1 streams and all that.
Dude, playing a fighting game at 30, man.
That's not. It's actually not. You actually can't. Like fighting games have been running at 60 since like 90. I think even back in Street Fighter 2, it's still 60, but they like slowed down the animation so it wasn't like so like hard on the machine.
Oh,
so it looks like dog piss like Street Fighter 2, like vile.
Yeah.
But it's always been running because the whole thing is that each frame is each move has frames, and a frame is a 60th of a second.
Yes.
Which is 60 frames. So
honestly,
pretty much that's
I don't mind. I really don't mind 30, just so long as the frame pacing is good. Frame pacing, like, I mean the individual amount of time between each frame. It should be exact. Because a frame rate
it's 30,
is just that, it's a rate.
It'd be like frame, pause, frame, pause, frame, pause. But some of them you can tell it's like frame, pause, frame. Those ones are interesting.
That's scary.
That and like low input latency. Other than that, I mean, I'm fine with 30, but I heavily prefer 60.
Did
definitely
you know that
now.
Like most like film, like even like the big films, they're actually recorded in 24 frames, and there's actually a cheat where you can make the action scenes like the punching and all that look way quicker than it is by cutting it down to 22. So
interesting.
So like when you
heard
see,
of something like
yo,
that.
they're fighting like so quick. No. They binged it from 24 to 22, and that difference is actually really big.
Yeah.
When we learned it in like film, it was like, holy fuck! That's like, because they just did a test thing where it was like jumping over boxes and shit. Like, jumping over, and then when they did, I can't remember something back, like not roll back, it's like scale back or something. And then when they showed the 22 frame and then jumping over the boxes, it looked like they were running, but they weren't. It's actually a cheat.
Oh man.
What was that?
That is weird.
Came out in 60 FPS. What was that came out? Was it called The Hobbit or something like that? Or...
No, the second. The second Hobbit movie. 48.
It got a lot of controversy for being like high FPS or something like that.
It was. I mean, high frame rate in the movie industry is 48, which would be twice as much.
Yeah, 48,
24,
which is double of 24, which is like standard.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I have this. One of my friends is, I guess, like looking into studying film and everything. I could probably ask him, but he says there is a reason for why they have it at 24.
I can't remember the reason, but we learned it.
Yeah, so
and it was quite strange. I was like, okay. It
know,
was one of those things where it's like we haven't cracked yet how to bomb.
I just looked it up and it said it's compromise between having a frame rate fast enough to create fluid motion to the eye while keeping film stock costs down.
Oh, really?
That's why I just
Oh, yeah,
I just
that
Googled
makes
it
sense
now.
then, doesn't it? It's not necessarily better. Like, I thought there was a reason, like, oh, like a film person is like, oh, well, 24
Oh
is
no, I wasn't.
better than 30.
Like I said, it was some off reason.
Yeah, it wasn't from like it's some poor or something, so it's not exact, but it sounds kind of legit and some works.
It's a mixture of. There's one other small little like reason why, but the main reason, particularly the main reason why they haven't really tried to like, you know, go up in the frame rates and all that is it's just cost. Like film like when we're using the film cameras, they were like, this is how much this film camera is. That's how much this is how much a tripod is. And this is how much the film you're using is. And it's like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
No wonder you can't try cut costs at any point, because just getting this equipment would be a bitch.
It would.
Hey, have you seen those 8K cameras, the ones that cost nearly 100 grand?
Yeah,
gosh.
they have one at the uni. Yeah. They also have like a couple like of the Phantom Flexes, which I think like I think they go to their slow mo to like 24,000 frames a second, I think. Something insane like that.
Dang.
They're like 4K, the newest ones I think are around 8K, but the one we have is 4K. And they're like, you don't fuck that up. That's like 40 grand. I'm like, I see why we're not allowed to bring this outside this one classroom.
Yeah, I'm on the internet now, on the website, on the Red camera website, a Monstro 8K camera, I don't know what the hell that is, 34.5 megapixels is 54 grand.
Oh my gosh. Apparently that's not even like that expensive,
not just
considering
that.
some of these cameras.
Yeah, with the Phantom Flex, I also remember we were just testing like how the slow-mo looked at like, I think the max was 24,000, but we had it like just 12,000. And we were doing really just basic shit. We were like monkeys, super fucking like, ooh, ah. We were just pouring like water in front of it and watching the way that the water moved.
Slow-mo.
Yeah. Ooh, like cavemen watching fire for the first time. Like, it was crazy.
Wait.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy, man, but like...
Or like if we clapped and you see like all the wobbling of the skin from where the clap is up like the arm, it's like, yo.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Trippy.
It probably costs more than some people's mortgages, man. That's
yeah.
Mate, it's way more than a mortgage. Like, yeah, I see it. It's like that one costs the uni like 50 grand.
That
like,
doesn't even seem that bad. Pretty sure some.
And that's not even that bad. No,
way higher.
They're explaining like some of the new models of the Phantom Flexes are like 150k plus.
My gosh, man.
And I'm like, fuck me. Imagine being like film crew for like a film and your fucking van gets robbed.
Oh my god.
You're down like 30k, 300k, I mean.
You know, for the movies like talking about that, imagine for the movies like the Marvel movies, like how much money they must have put into them, because obviously they have CGI. I know the like technical stuff that would have made it so much expensive.
Just on the bill for all the equipment they use. Not even CG, not even those costs. I just want to know how much, if you added up all the equipment they used, how much it would be.
A few million.
It was something retarded,
yeah, something like that.
Yes.
You know, as we're at the tail end of this topic, I guess I'd want to bring up one of the ones I wanted to do for a while. Would you guys rather be stressed or bored? That is.
You want to go in like a line?
So do you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Before I would have said that I would rather be stressed than bored.
But are you stressed now and you're like
that? But now I'm at a point where it's like I actually think for the first time, it's kind of switching.
So to be fair, I don't think you prefer bored over stressed. I think you just want like a moment of fucking peace,
like of course.
Respite.
Yeah, more like like an extra day.
Mentally just need,
and then
you just mentally
get
need
back
to recharge by the sounds.
I mean, because also here's the thing: like, if you're bored, like I will find something to do. If I'm bored,
same.
You know, so it's one of those things where I don't really, like in times of general boredom, I think I'll occupy myself with something, but now is different, because if you would have asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have been like, "Oh yeah, man, my whole life I would definitely rather be stressed than bored, because you know, I just I prefer like I guess being productive and everything." And no, I definitely do like being productive, but being
The
stressed,
balance.
the language in the question, being stressed is different from having a lot of work and being productive. Being stressed is an entirely different question now, and now I'm not
Oh,
too sure.
if you phrase it
It's
in
interesting.
like its base meaning, fuck no, I wouldn't want to just be overtly stressed for like no real reason
Yeah,
specific. Like
yeah. No, I
I'll
mean, like,
take
even for a
mad
reason.
stress if I'm doing like a task or something. Yeah, I'll take
Oh,
mad
yeah.
stress, sure, if it gets done.
Um,
But if I'm just stressed for no reason,
yeah, oh, no.
send
Th
this.
that's for sure, definitely.
Yo,
But
I don't think there's anything being more worse. That's not English. A lot worse. Was being stressed or bored. If you're bored and then that's making you stressed,
oh gosh. Yeah, that's
you get the
that's
worst of both
cancer.
worlds.
That's scary,
Oh, man.
man. Like, what the wrong?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I put the when I guess I sort of brought up this topic so we could talk about it. I was 100% on the yeah. I'd definitely rather be stressed than be bored. I could, because I'd be doing stuff. I can't stand boredom. I can't stand not doing things. But for the first time, I don't know. I
Dude,
really don't
after
know
the
anymore.
To be
last
fair,
year of
that's interesting.
university,
You've
I
gained
wouldn't
like a
want to.
new perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
definitely
it.
have. Um, I'm kind of reaching a point where
Plateau.
it's like limit testing, kind of.
Yeah, I love that phrase. Me and the boys use that constantly. Like, oh, you stay. How long you stayed up? Like X amount of hours. Oh, you must. Oh, limit testing. Yes. Or like, or like we'll like accidentally like fill up. Like, say if I went up to boys and we're just like making coffee or whatever, and you just fill the milk all the way to the top. Yeah, limit testing. We just always use that term.
Oh man. Yeah, things are interesting. I guess I can share a teeny tiny bit, a little fraction of what's going on. So, I'm in college for mechanical engineering, and we're at this one stage. It's just one class. It's notorious for being like way too time intensive. Way too time intensive. I mean, like it's unbelievable. Um the class, like how there's class numbers like English 102, English 101, right? So this one, mechanical engineering, or I guess engineering mechanics 225. And it's a big joke within the university that it should be worth 225 credit hours instead of 3. It's really terrible, man. Um and I just whew, I think I am limit testing at this point. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm using the phrase correctly. It's just
Nah, that's
one of those
limit
things.
testing. It's definitely limit testing.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. There's also another part of it. Um, if I was only doing school, I wasn't doing. Honestly, the Vermin term is not that time intensive. Maybe like 1 to 2 hours a week, really. About an hour to record, and then render, edit, upload. And honestly, rendering and uploading, you just do something else in that time. That's really not like time you spent. One very minor off-topic thing I'm just gonna go off on. Um, I know there are a lot of people like, oh man, being a YouTuber is so tough. You have to render and upload things. But like, you do realize rendering is you click the button that says render, and you just sit there. Like, are
And
you literally
drool.
just sitting there and just drooling on your keyboard, just waiting for it? You could be doing something else in that time.
No,
Surely.
especially with how long
I'm
some
busy
renders
rendering.
take.
It just depends.
Especially how long some rendering might take. Please don't drool. That shit might take like
Yeah.
an hour or more.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Some
that's
people
the
who
one
make
thing-
renders like of 3D models and stuff, like some of them say like, oh yeah, it took like 6 hours to render.
Oh yeah, don't worry. Back when I literally did not even design for work, but back when I was like younger, so I'd say 13, 14, when I was in the COD community,
Yeah.
and I was doing like design work for like some of the teams. Yeah, rendering 3D on a MacBook.
Oh, that's gotta be
Some
crap.
of them huge 3D modeling pieces I do since I was like hyper detailed. That shit took like 9 hours. Like my fucking little MacBook, you would be completely out of commission for 9 hours as long as that was rendering.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I got distracted. I was looking at the chat, and I guess one of the things I guess I would do if I was bored is I guess pay more attention to the stock market. And as someone was bringing up, Apple is now around $112, and I bought some shares at around 130.
Talking
Fun.
about shares.
Oh,
One
man.
share that has skyrocketed through the roof as of recent because of
Oh, really?
F1 and like drive signings. Aston Martin, since Sebastian Vettel just signed with them. Yeah, within the first 24 hours, it went up like 11.3%, and he had just announced that he signed. He hasn't even touched the car.
Man,
That's
here's the thing.
That's something I always forgot. Driver moves influence manufacturer stocks so much.
When you're in the stock market, you see, like a lot of people, I know companies and stuff that pertain to things they're focused on and things they pay attention to. You could do pretty well in the stock market. Like I would not have known that they went up by that much. I would not have known, because I don't watch F1. But it's one of those things.
I just got to ear to these stock streets as well.
Yeah,
I actually checked it once I saw that announcement because I was like, "Oh, that's gonna skyrocket." You got a 4-time F1 champion, even if he's doing kind of shitty now. Yeah, 4-time F1 champ in your car. So, Aston Martin, not even just that, they went up in like I think it was something like 12-13% when they announced that they were buying Racing Point and they're joining the F1 grid next year. So their stocks just went way fucking up this year.
It's interesting.
Stocks just been weird with COVID-19, man. Up and down like
when you mention
what's world's been up and down.
Being stressed and being bored at the same time. When you're bored, you invest in stocks. Then when they start to drop, then you get stressed. You're still bored because you're done trading.
Oh, that's grief.
Honestly, though, here's the thing. Like, I, in theory, would lose about $230 or something like that. But here's the thing. I'm not gonna like sell anything. I don't really know that a whole lot about the stock market.
To be fair with Apple,
until they get back.
There's a system I told you about. It's called it's known as the slingshot system, and it's essentially where large entities of a stock that hold a majority share, when there's an announcement made, they'll sell off all their stock to tank the price. When the announcement, picks up steam, more articles get published.
Oh man!
Then they buy them. When they buy all these stocks, they buy all their stocks plus more when the price has dropped, and when everyone starts buying because they see these large entities making these moves, the price starts going up again. Gee, it's legal manipulation essentially. That's legal manipulation.
You see, I might.
You just got to be rich enough.
A fraction of a share because I don't have that much more money to spend when that happens. But then when it goes up, hopefully I'll be able to sell the rest of what I had. But yeah, that's.
I think because the iPhone 12 is going to be announced soon and the new stuff, it should probably rise up then or sometime during that time. Anyway.
With what I've told you boys, you two and the listeners out there, if you see the stock start plummeting at an announcement, go buy some shits because that is classic. Classic slingshot you're about to see. It's happened the most with Apple. Specifically Apple, it's happened the most. It happens every announcement of a major phone. Like all the numbered models, bang, crash, boom, way back up within like a good fucking 7 to 10 days.
Yep, that's true.
I was gonna say I'm not 100% sure, but I think a few months ago, like when coronavirus hit or something like that, or around that time, the CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Huang, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, but I think he did something where he sold quite a bit of his shares or bought a lot of his shares, and then did the opposite back just a while back when the announcements of the new graphics cards came.
This guy knows how to do it. Yeah, you see, it didn't rise enough for me to make a profit in Nvidia stocks, or I would have made like 2 cents of profit and then it dipped again. Man,
it's one of those things where let me put it this way, right? And why investment is investment? Because my friend from Meme, back in 2013, he bought like fucking 8 Dogecoin
Oh yeah.
just as a meme,
Yeah.
and I think it cost him, unironically, 5 NZ. And because they
Nice.
went up in value over
Yeah.
the years, he sold them off like 2 years ago. He got like $300 from it.
Oh, yo, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Invest in the
because
meme.
yeah,
man.
we were talking about that. Like, he just did it as like a meme. He's like, yeah, that was just Dogecoin. I thought that was hilarious, but yeah, when I went back to that wallet and then I see the value of how much you're fucking worth, like 3-4 years later, what happened? Like, how's Dogecoin worth?
Yeah.
Imagine the people who would have bought Bitcoin when it was worth nothing.
Oh my gosh, man.
If you knew what you knew now, would you go back
Oh,
and would you go back like 10 years and tell yourself, "You piece
Yes.
of shit"? Buy
Yes.
this or whatever?
I would have to be like this. Yo, bro, you don't know what this is. You don't know why. Yo, take that birthday money and buy as much of this shit as you can. Please.
I mean, like, here's the thing. It cost a few cents for whole Bitcoin,
It's
I
pennies,
think,
man.
in 2010.
Yeah,
Yeah, back
like that.
in 2010. Yeah, I would have been like, yo, use all your birthday money and buy all these shits as much as you can.
And don't tell
Dude.
anyone about it, but don't forget the password or whatever to your wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, of course.
I'd be like,
Wait,
bro, get it tattooed on you if you have to. I don't care.
Talking about that, do you remember that guy who lost like a few million pounds because he lost the hard drive that had loads of Bitcoin on it or something?
Yeah.
And he was
I heard
like,
about that.
No,
I heard about
gosh.
that. That's grim.
yeah, that was an element.
Yeah, like
of
losing
Rest
it.
like
in
the
peace.
verification codes for like your wallets is fucked. Because those verification codes are like gibberish. Like
Yeah,
they might even be like with some of the wallets I have, the verification code is essentially it's a sequence of 10 words. 10 completely at random words. And it's like, ooh, really hope I write that down. Let's put that in my text file and then back it up on my USB on the wall. Which is like what I do for all my passwords.
I think we
I
should
have them
make some
ordered too.
Vermin coin, and like in 10 years' time,
Vermin coin? Yo,
Oh my gosh.
unironically, Akon's starting to make his own cryptocurrency, Acoin. I unironically think, because it's such a big meme as Akon's making his own cryptocurrency, I think it actually might fucking really be worth something.
You know, who knows?
He's doing bits. Isn't he making his own city in Africa or something? Like,
Some shit, yeah.
something.
It's like the main currency is going to be Acoin. If he does it, that unironically, just because it's Akon and for a meme, people will buy it. I think that will become a thing.
I think.
Yeah, so like 3 years in like the future, where Akon is like, let's say like 5-8 years, where like Akon is like the god emperor of the world with his like African city and is like extreme Acoin. We could be the ones to buy the Acoin and live like kings as well.
So basically, we all have to invest one now, and then we'll be billionaires in just a few years. That's
definitely. Akon conquers the world.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, I think that was an interesting Vermin sermon. And there's one more thing. One more thing I want to mention. Forza Horizon 3 is gonna be reaching end of life. I think September 21st. I think we already mentioned this before, but I have excess Bing point stuff, and I really don't know and don't care on what to spend it on. So I'm like, you know what? I was gonna give a copy of the game to one of my friends, but then he got busy and never responded. I mean, he's also busy with stuff, so
surely we have a Vermin Sermon giveaway for fucking Horizon 3.
Yes, you are right. Because
into
it's
the
only
raffle.
$10. You know, I honestly, I don't even like Horizon 3. I'm just telling you up front. This game we're about to give away, I don't even like it.
Never played it.
Well, I'll tell you what. For it being free, that's basically makes it a tech demo, and it's a pretty darn good tech demo. So I'll tell you what. If you want copy Horizon 3, and you're gonna kind of be fast, maybe. I think it reaches end of life somewhat soon. I don't want to wait until after until the next Vermin sermon, because then that'll be basically only a few days away. So, how about this? If you want a copy
that are listening till now,
yeah, if you want to copy Horizon 3, like literally just leave a comment. That's it.
No. Let
Just-
me put it this way. If you want the copy of Horizon 3, I want you to type Ooga Booga in the comments. And if you do that, the first ones, they'll get it. Because I know you listen to the end and you're OG.
Yeah, you know
real.
what? Yeah, how about
Type
that?
Ooga Booga in the comments.
To the end. Well, that's an L for you, mate. That's,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
but
no,
you're not gonna
no
get-
one's listening right now.
Oh, man.
Talk to ourselves.
I guess
dude, it's gonna and you know, how about this? Because just to make things speedy, because what's gonna have to happen is you're gonna have to type that in the comments. I'm gonna pick you or whatever to find out, and then I'll leave my Xbox gamer tag or whatever in the thing. Add me as a friend on Xbox. I'll add you back, and then I can gift it to you. Okay? We only have
You know what the funniest
You've
thing
got
about
a-
this is?
about a week to do this. Yeah, go ahead.
That's super funny because it would be funny if you just, in the comments, you just had your gamer tag there for no reason, and unless you're listening till now, you don't know why that's there.
You have no
you don't
idea,
know why
yeah.
there's, and you don't know why you have to say Ooga Booga.
Yeah.
no context as usual.
Hell yeah! If you know,
if
you know.
you want to, if you
you're
want to
in
leave a
on the
comment
lore.
in general, if you want to leave a comment in general, you can see it, and then just at the end, just put it there. You know, sprinkle it
Well,
however
okay.
you please.
Write out a whole fucking thesis and just in the middle of it, somebody's Ooga Booga. To be fair, you can just take
Perfect.
F3 source Ooga Booga here and then it'll be there. Yo, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll know. We're watching
Yeah. So
everywhere.
if you
Always
want
watching.
Horizon 3, you see, it'll honestly, if you're getting it for free, it's a good experience at least, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
we're
not
watching
so
you.
much
Look
a great
behind you.
video game, but in terms of handling, physics model, upgrades, just driving around car list, it's a good time for it being $0.00. So
Hell
if you
yeah.
I
want
agree
it,
with that.
I don't actually know if Microsoft has a policy of gifting things to people outside the US. I guess we'll find out.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure.
I'm
Well,
gonna have to
they
do some
didn't
research.
back in 2013, 2014 at least.
All right. I mean that's just gonna be hilarious. The first ever giveaway is a failure because, like, let's say only one person comments that, and then I can't gift it to them.
To be fair, that is very verminous if all that
That
happened. So
would
yes,
be.
it's on brand. Very
That
verminous.
would be. I'm gonna check if you can.
When's the Vermin Sermon getting our own stock, man? Our own shares.
Wrong company. Vermin Sermon LLC.
LLC.
Oh.
GmbH, we just running out of fucking Germany. None of us are from there.
Yeah.
Shell
Let's
Corp.
see. Oh, snap. You can only gift items inside your region. Wow.
That's grief.
That is... Wow. So
Yo,
I'm
if you're
sorry,
listen-
but...
Yo,
Yeah, you know what?
once
No.
again, if you're listening up to here and you're in the US or North America,
know-
I guess, maybe it pertains to, just
Yeah,
Canada as
yeah.
well. Ooga Booga
So
in
that's like-
comments.
Yeah, I think US, like Guam, because it's part of the US, maybe?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Alright, so
Man,
it's-
I'm
you gotta
gonna
give it to
really
Nina.
disappointed if I am not gonna be able to give it to anyone. But yeah.
So that's like the
You're gonna have
0.1% of the view base, bro.
Man,
That's like
gonna be
50% of your
disappointing.
base. Like, I'm guessing. I'm
Oh yeah, I
assuming
forgot.
that, I'm assuming Max, he's from fucking the US, because Ty is not.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not,
a
so
really
that's great.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it's 50% of the
Let's see.
your base is out the door.
Apparently, it's to prevent people from changing their region to send codes and sell them at different prices or something. I don't know what the heck, man. This is so
Oh, that's
weird.
a scam. That's a scam, boys are us. Sounds like.
You know what, dude? You can change your region on your Xbox settings, right?
yes.
I'm full of finesse on this.
Might need a VPN though, so I can't. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
Surely, wait, is the code from Bing? You can just redeem it on your store, right?
No, see, they have this new thing.
How's it
It'll
work?
automatically redeem to my account, which is annoying. So
Oh,
then
because I was
I
about
will
to say,
get the
because if
money.
you redeemed it to Souls, then Soul could give it to Ty.
Yes, if I could just give someone a $10 Xbox gift card and they can buy Horizon 3 with it, or even just do whatever they want. Who cares? I would do that, but I can't.
Think
At least I don't
Think
know
about-
if
yeah,
I can.
Can you change?
Maybe
Can you change
could.
your region? No, damn.
Game rewards.
It'll be like what? Change your region, your Xbox. Then if you can change your region on your Bing account.
Oh,
I don't
boy.
think. Yeah,
That's
that
great.
sounds
Hold
like
on,
some
let me see.
mental
Redeeming
gymnastics.
Microsoft rewards and
great.
gifting them to a friend.
Yeah, but if you've been watching it this
Oh
long,
man.
fuck,
Okay.
maybe
Actually,
you
someone's in
won't.
the exact situation. So someone says it looks like you can't do that because of the direct deposit system. It says, "Will I still be able to redeem the reward for myself or purchase a gift or I get a game for a friend as long as they're in the same region you are?" Oh boy.
Grief.
Yeah.
Why is that still a rule?
Why is
Oh wait,
why is it called a
is
gift
it-
card
why-
if you can just go buy it for
no.
yourself?
Why is that a rule? Because that wasn't really a rule back in Xbox 360. You could send codes for games that. But it probably this rule probably came into place because they were scamming cunts on Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or what
That's
they were
probably
saying
why,
something
because-
about selling codes or something.
Yo,
I
you
really don't know.
scammers in the Xbox 360 days. You dickheads, because you probably put this rule in place. They're freaking
Yeah.
the use.
Man, that's really annoying. But if you're in the US, and you want Horizon 3. If
For
you
whatever
don't, because you
reason.
do. What if all the people who watch this are like, oh, but I already have Horizon 3 though.
That's another L, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
You know what? This is
Racing,
going to be an
yeah.
experimental giveaway because I don't even know if there's going to be enough people to actually even do this. You know what? If it doesn't happen, then here's what you get my Xbox. Send me a message on said Xbox and be like, "Hey, are you in the US and everything? All right, cool. Here's the thing added. Here's the gift, etc." So all I'm gonna say is, hopefully, there's enough people. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. I won't redeem the Bing points. There will be no giveaway, and Horizon 3 will just be left in the void, where it will never be found again. Man, it's still kind of weird that they do that. I get why. It's because licenses expire, but I feel like Forza is almost like a big enough franchise for Xbox to keep renewing it. But I don't know. I really don't know. But
We
yeah,
live in a society.
you know. So we really do. We really do. So I think that will round it up because also my laptop is at 8% and I can't find my charger. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna end this episode of the Vermin Sermon. Leave a comment if you want. If you're in the US, leave a comment if you want a copy of Horizon 3 with no. You know, somebody might want to skip to the very end. No. You're gonna have to watch through this to see what we said about what you have to comment in order to get the copy of Horizon 3. So there you go. We'll see you guys all in the next one.